Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new. My name is Leah and I'm a 22 years old French girl obsessed with stories, and in today's video I'm gonna do the Booktube newbie tag. So that's some questions, like 10 questions when you are starting Booktube, when you're a new booktuber that you can answer to. And so I did this tag like when I first started my channel some years ago, but I deleted all my content, so I don't have the video anymore, and I restarted my channel, so I decided maybe I can do it again. I'm kind of cheating, but it's okay. So let's get right into it, and let's start with the first question. I have my trusty notebook with me. It's so cute, it's with little cats. And let's get right into it. I don't have a lot of time because I have church in an hour, so we have to focus. Okay, let's go. The first one is, why did you start this channel? So I started this channel because, first of all, as you can tell, I love to talk. I'm a bit of a yapper, I'm a bit of a chatter. I love to always say what's on my mind, to talk about random things that's happening in my life that I think about. I just love to talk all the time to anyone that can listen to me. And I also love to share about the things that I love, which is essentially like books, God, traveling, my boyfriend, eating sweets. What else do I love? I don't know. Fashion. Like, I just love a lot of things and I love to share about them. So I thought this could be a good idea to make a channel where I can talk about the things I love and share them with people and advise them if they don't know these things yet, or love with them if they already know these things and absolutely adore them. So I thought starting a Booktube channel would be, or a channel in general, would be a good idea. Next one is, what are some fun and unique things that you can bring to Booktube? So if you don't know me, I'm French. I said it in the intro video, so by now you probably know and you can hear my accent. So I'm French and Portuguese, half and half. I was born in Portugal, but I moved to France when I was 3 years old. My dad is Portuguese, my mom is French. And so that's something that's kind of unique and diverse, and I think that can be fun, that I can bring a bit of diversity in the middle of all the like American or English other booktubers. And also, when I recommend a book, if you are English is not your first language, you can ask me like, is it easy to read, is it hard to read, and I can advise you on what I think about the book, like the writing style, if it's really challenging or if I think it's a good starter book, for example. And also I plan on bringing other type of content than only Booktube, like vlogs. I did a travel vlog when I went to Rome with my boyfriend in January, and I want to do vlogs about my life also when I live in France and when I study and stuff like this, and just sometimes also content about faith because I'm a Catholic, so I love to talk about that, and also just other lifestyle content and this kind of stuff that I enjoy sharing about. Then we have, what are you most excited for about this new channel? So I'm really excited for the community it can bring, because I love to share life with people, so I'm really excited to get to know people and just talk to people in my comment section if they want to say something interesting or just what they think about. And I'm just really excited about that, and also for the challenge it brings, because it's something new, it's something different. I'm someone who is quite shy, so it's quite challenging to talk just in front of my phone and not be anxious or just think, oh, it's kind of stupid what I'm doing, I should be embarrassed or something like this. So it's a good challenge for me. Then we have, why do you love reading? So I love reading because you can really immerse yourself in another world, like especially if you read fantasy, you have something that's so new and completely different from your life, and you have a new lore and new religions, new gods, new places, new languages sometimes, powers, and it's so interesting. I love especially like powers, the magic system and stuff, and see the creativity of each authors. It's so interesting to see, and it's deeply fascinating to me how they can pull out something so amazing from their brain and just write something sometimes so beautiful and lyrical and magical. But even in a fiction book that's just romance or literature, what it's called, literary fiction, I think, you can also travel somewhere else, like another country, another city, with different kind of way of living and stuff. And even in non-fiction, like you can learn about people's lives and can be completely different from your own. But also I love to be immersed in the head of the characters, because I'm a student in psychology, and so it's really interesting for me to see the characters, like their history, their upbringing, their trauma, how they think, how they act, what are their motivation and stuff like this. It's deeply fascinating to me. I feel like it's a study of character all the time, and I'm just so, I don't know, interested in it, sorry. Then we have what book or series got you into reading. So I have it here. I don't know if it's the same name in English, but it's called Fifi Brin d'Acier. What's the author? I don't know, maybe there is a title in English inside. It's a book that I got when I was like, oh no, it's Swedish, but I'm sure they have it in English. It's Swedish. Okay. The author is Astrid Lindgren, I think. So I got this book when I was like 7 years old, and it's quite a big book for someone who is 7. I think I took like 2 or 3 months to read it, but that's the book that got me reading. It's about this girl, and she's 9 years old, and she has like freckles, and she has 2 braids, like red hair with braids, and she just does all kind of mischief, and she's really adventurous and courageous, and she always has something on her mind. And yeah, I just love this book, and I read it when I was really young, but it's just such a fun memory, and that's the book who got me into reading. Then we have what question would you ask your favorite booktubers? That's kind of a trick question, but I think I would ask them like how they create this community, because it's the thing I'm more interested in, like how they connect with their followers or with other booktubers, and like how do they put themselves out there to interact with people, because that's the goal with my channel. I really want to get to know people who watch my channel and just have meaningful conversation with them. And also, especially for Booktube, like how do they handle a book slump, because like kind of the point also of my channel is to recommend books, but like if I don't have time to read, or if I'm in a book slump, or if I don't want to read, how can I recommend new books? So how do they handle that, to like create content all the time even if they haven't read like 1,000 billion books? So yeah, that's the 2 things I would ask them. Then we have what challenges do you think starting a Booktube channel will be the hardest to overcome? So the first one is talking in English, because I'm French. Like I learned English at school, and also I went to like international school in Brussels for like 2.5 years, and so that's where I primarily learned how to speak English, sorry. But it's still challenging for me sometimes, like I don't have the best accent, and sometimes my words just mumble together, so that will be hard for me, especially when I'm a bit stressed and anxious. I tend to kind of chat and just my words get all rumbly and messy, so that will be a challenge. And also the other challenge, I kind of talked about it, but it's like not reading enough or not reading fast enough, and I'm been afraid that I don't have new books to recommend, and so I don't know what kind of content I can do, what kind of books I can recommend. So that's the 2 fears kind of I have. Then we have when did you start reading? So as I showed you with this book, I started reading really young. As soon as I learned to read, almost I started enjoying it. And then when I was like maybe, I don't know, a bit older, maybe like around high school, I kind of not stopped reading, but I was reading way less. And then when the pandemic happened, I started reading a lot again because I had a lot of time. I reread all the books that I had in my home that I read before, and that's what sparked the love of reading again, and that's when I started reading the books that I read now. Then we have where do you read? So I read everywhere I can, like at home, in my room especially. I love to be in my room because it's like my safe place. I just love it. So I can read, like I have this chair here, or in my bed, or I have like a kind of another bed when I can just chill, relax and read. Or I can read at university during my breaks when I have time, or like in the subway going to university on my Kindle. I like to read mostly like physical books, but sometimes I read on my Kindle when it's more convenient. And I love to read outside, like in a park, because we have a park that's really close to my house, like a huge park. Or I love also to read at the beach. I don't live near the beach, but when I go on vacation there, I love to bring a book and read at the beach and tan at the same time. It just, I don't know, it's so relaxing, it's so fun, I love it. And the last question is, what kind of books do you like to read? So I mostly read like YA and adult fiction, and I love to read like fantasy and romance, all kind of fantasy, like urban fantasy or just high stakes fantasy. And I love all kind of romance also. And I love to read, I mostly read in English now, sometimes some books in French when they are not translated or stuff like, or when they're written in French, because of course I want to read the original kind of author style and not something that's translated. So I mostly read in English, but when it's a French book I will read it in French. Or sometimes some books don't have a translation in English because I don't know why. So that depends. And yeah, I sometimes read some kind of self-help books or books about religion and faith, and that's kind of everything I read. I don't reread that much. I have two reread planned this year, and I'm looking at my bookshelves. I'm trying to see. I don't really like crime fiction, horror or thrillers. I'm not a huge fan of that because first of all I get really scared, and second of all I don't know, it's not really a genre that interests me. Like I don't really love it. I don't know why, I don't really like it. But yeah, historical fiction just a little bit, classics just a little bit, and as I told you, self-help and religion, faith-based books just a little bit. So that's kind of all I read. I think I'm looking around me. Yeah, that's kind of all I read. And yeah, I will see you guys in another video. I hope you enjoyed this one. If you did, please like it, comment and subscribe. And see you. Bye.